was weak. There you go. Hello, Internetians. My name is Josh, aka ultraplayer, and I am your coach of the New York Metagross. And we are here for PMC week number 8, which is very late. So I had some problems. I definitely had some problems, and basically I ran out of time because I was working a lot to get the video up. And the time I was going to spend on doing the video was the day it was going to go up. It was last Sunday. I'm currently recording this on Saturday night. You're going to see this Sunday morning. And you're also going to see the Week 9 game later today. So be sure to be on the lookout for our Week 9 game versus Bronson. But the time I set aside, I had everything I needed to record this video. I was completely ready. I just needed to do like 1 or 2 things. And I was going to record it when I woke up at like 7 a.m. I was going to record it, I was going to edit it, and then I was going to set it to post for when it was supposed to go up before I went to work, and had to be at work at like 10 a.m. But no one wants to work where I work. Sheet has the top 100 companies to work for. I'm actually wearing that shirt. Wow, you can't see because there's no webcam. And yeah, so I had to go get called in earlier. I'd been working 12-hour shifts the entire weekend. And then when I finally got some days off, my computer crashed and had multiple blue screens, and I basically had to do like a complete system disk check and fix it, and it took many hours. So I'm now finally, and then because of that, I got behind on my games, so I had to go catch up my games, and now I'm all caught up and everything. Week 9 should be going up. Week 9 is very well taken care of. Promise you on that one. And yeah, I hope I promise you on that one. God, I hope it goes up tomorrow. Come on, future me. Anyway, so that's kind of explanation on why this video is late. Next week should be on time, or week 9 should be on time, and then next week should be on time as well, because that game is already done. And I believe if it's not recorded yet, Aaron should be recording it soon and sending it to me. And then I will record it and make sure that goes up on time. So, yay. Anyway. Also, the background is different. It's not the typical stuff the normally see, because typically I have my Mega Mawile background from all 0412. By the way, shout out to all 0412. I don't know how often I give them shout outs. They are amazing. He, I think, is an amazing artist. Anyway, I'm on Smog Tours right now because I'm trying to have my, I think, Uber's open game. But anyway, let's talk about this week. Let's finally talk about this week. Week 8 of PMC. We were currently 4-3. We won last week. Not doing too bad. Playoffs are still a thing that we can miss, but it's looking pretty good for us that we're gonna make playoffs. I just don't know what position we're gonna end up making. But anyway, let's talk about our opponent. Our opponent is 5-2. He is one spot ahead of us in our division. He is a division rival, and his name is Lux. Lord Luxray, I believe. Maybe? I don't know. I know his name is Lux. I know he goes by Lux, and he is the coach of the Pittsburgh Empoleons. And he has a very, very scary team, including a familiar face, if you've already noticed on the layout. He has a Z-Zygarde 50%. He has a Mega Diancie. He has a Tornadus Therian. He has an Empoleon, a Buzzwole, an Uxie, and those are actually his top 6 spawns, and those are actually the 6 that he brought. But he also has a Delmise, a Typhlosion, a Skuntank, a Z-Raichu, and a Kangaskhan. So that Buzzwole is obviously familiar. And this is who we traded way back when we first joined. We traded him a Alolan Marowak and Buzzwole. He gave us Arahpthos and a Zelf, neither of which I'm bringing. Go figure. And then he dropped a Alolan Marowak for the Uxie. So, huge shout out to him. For giving me a Zelf and Arahpthos. They have come in very, very handy, especially a Zelf. A Zelf is just the GOAT. So anyway, he has that team. So let's get into what I've built, shall we? So, there's 2 mons. When I first started this team, there's 2 mons that I knew that I wanted. And the first one was going to be Gren. He is very, very weak to Greninja. Very weak. His switch-ins do exist, however, they are very limited. And if I brought the different set, if I brought like a fully offensive set, I could, like a, well, I mean, I am running an offensive set, but like if I had Ice Beam or something for the Tornadus, I'd be even better off. However, I don't really feel I need it. I could bring Low Kick for the Empoleon. I could bring Ice Beam for the Zygarde. I could bring Acrobatics or something for the Buzzwole. No matter what, I still think I'm okay. I don't have Spikes. He has a Mega Dance, he has a Defog, potential Defog Tornadus. He has an Empoleon which can Defog, a Delmise that can spin, a Skuntank that can Defog. He has Mons that are weak to rocks. He's gonna be bringing Defog or Rapid Spin in some fashion. So I didn't really feel like Spikes were all that necessary, but I did think that Greninja in general was gonna be able to destroy him. Dual Stab is really all I absolutely needed, so that's what I went with. I have Dark Pulse and I have Hydro Pump, obviously. Those are my dual stats. And I have Waterium Z. Waterium Z is going to allow me to fire off a super strong Hydro Vortex, which, depending on what Tornadus is rocking, its item, its spread, and everything, after a Dark Pulse, can kill. So, that being his best potential switch-in is it's fine, because I can take that thing down. Another potential switch-in he has is the Skuntank. Also, which gets popped by Waterium Z. Same with the Kangaskhan, which may be able to switch in a little bit. The Empoleon obviously looks like its next best switch-in. However, I have Taunt for that, and it's probably going to be running Mono Scald. So, I will be able to take Scalds from that decently well. Not very, very well, but I will be able to take a couple. So that's great. And then finally, I have U-Turn. So U-Turn's, of course, going to give me momentum. It's going to allow me to pivot out on things that I don't want to stay in on. And ultimately, it's there to get the upper hand, especially since I outspeed his entire team. His fastest mon is Tornadus, which I had the EVs to outspeed, which is great. So the other mon I really liked in this match was my Mega Altaria. So Mega Altaria, look at that EV spread. Wow, what was I thinking? So this EV spread is going to allow me to outspeed a Tornadus Therian. So I can outspeed a Tornadus Therian at +1, and at +2, I believe I outspeed anything he could really come up with, and I believe at +3, might be wrong. I might be wrong. I'm probably wrong, because I'm wrong about a lot of stuff. But at +3, I believe I outspeed a +2 Dansey, which could be wrong. But I'm not entirely sure. I think the main thing I was going for was at +1, I outspeed Tornadus, and at +2, I outspeed Scarfers. So, I have some bulk, and this bulk allows me to set up on stuff, on a number of things, but also lets me take hits. So it allows me to take some nice hits from the Tornadus, make sure that I can, not auto-lose to it at Team Preview. So I also take on, I don't really take on Delmise, but I can take a hit from Delmise. I can take a hit from the Zygarde. If it's Dragon Dance, I believe I take a +1 Iron Tail. Correct me if I'm wrong, I might be wrong. I do know I take a Moonblast from the Dansey, and I just have general ways to take hits across the board, allowing myself to set up, because I really want the setup opportunity, because this Mega Altaria absolutely destroys him. His Fairy Resists include Empoleon and Typhlosion, both of which get bought by Earthquake, hence why I'm running it. I'm also running Body Slam, because I don't plan ahead, and don't have time to fix my happiness. And I'm sure there's a way to, get by it on Jennings, but, I'm unprofessional. So, anyway, Body Slam is also nice for paralyzing stuff, and if I can paralyze certain mons, it's just easier to deal with them. Potentially getting the full para on something like the Tornadus, as it goes for a... Wow, my foot is just weird. Getting the the paralysis on something like Tornadus, being able to slow it down, etc. Very nice. I also didn't expect him to be able to status me by the time I start setting up, so I don't really feel the need for Facade. I thought Body Slam was a very good move to have. Dragon Dance removes very standard on a Dragon Dance Mega Altaria, of course. You need Dragon Dance for Altaria to be Dragon Dance, and the roost is just there for longevity. So, it's also a decent switch into stuff like the Typhlosion, the Buzzwole, the Uxie, the kind of the Tornadus, but not really. Maybe the Zygarde if it's not a if it's Coil and it hasn't coiled yet. I can switch into unboosted 1000 Arrows, I can switch into uninvested 1000 Arrows very well. Empoleon if it's not only running Scald, etc. I have my typing alone allows me just to pivot in on everything. So next I added my Vaporeon with Wish Scald, Ice Beam, and Protect. This is going to allow me to handle the Zygarde to an extent. But it also lets me pivot in on the Tornadus, on the Dansey, on the Empoleon, generally just about everything on his team. He doesn't really have a lot to take on a Vaporeon. His only stab to take on Vaporeon is going to be the Delmise, which as you can see he didn't bring. So at Team Preview it looks like Vaporeon can do a lot of work just pivoting in. It's not going to wall everything out because it can't. It's going to be overly pressured this match. I can tell that just by the way the matchup is and what I have. But it's going to do good work. And Skull's going to be good for getting chip damage off on stuff and potentially getting burned. Ice Beam was there for Zygarde as well as the Tornadus. And the Dhelmise. So, the EVs were just generally just so I could pivot in on stuff. There's nothing too special about them, I believe. And if there is, I don't immediately remember them. So, the next one we have is my Crobat, which is going to be Extra Bell. It's going to be Brave Bird, Steel Wing, Roost, and U-Turn. This Extra Bell is going to allow me, especially with this attack investment right here, 148, I do know that that is going to allow me to OHKO a Mega DNC, which is great because I can always have an offensive check to that should he not have a Rock Polish up. And I kind of plan the team around. If you'll notice, the team is kind of planned around not giving Mega DNC a really good setup. Its best setup opportunity, I believe, is on the Vaporeon, or if, you know, we'll get to Heatran in a second. So, Brave Bird is really nice because it gets damage off on almost his entire team. He has no good flying resist. His only flying resist is Raichu and Empoleon. Raichu does not take on the Brave Bird very well, and if I get damage off on Empoleon, that's really nice because that's his best mon to take on Mega Altaria. Because it takes a +1 Earthquake, it can roar me out, it can Flash Cannon me, etc., etc. So, I have enough speed for, to make these EVs work. I also take, I can't remember what it is. I can't remember what exact hit I take with 212 HP EVs, but I take a hit, and this, to take this hit, I needed to lower my speed a little bit, or to do this damage, and to take those hits that I don't remember, I need to lower my speed a little bit, so I'm outspeeding something that my, I'm outspeeding a Tornadus at speed creeping myself. I'm sorry, that words are hard. Anyway, I have Roost for longevity. This also helps me pivot in on stuff like the Buzzwole, on stuff like the Dhelmise, on stuff like the Skuntags, and you get the picture at this point. The team is very bulky offense. And then U-Turn for, again, initiative. I then have this Heatran. This Heatran I went through a lot of changes with. A lot. Including one at the very end when I was told that I'd not get given Aaron a legal Heatran. So this Heatran is going to be Scarf. It's going to be a Scarf Heatran. It's going to have Eruption. So with Eruption, I have to have Quiet Nature, which sucks because Scarf Heatran with a Quiet Nature never will outspeed a Tornadus. Which is, you know, it's bad news bears. It's definitely bad news bears. However, I do outspeed everything else, which is good. Perfect. And Scarf Eruption does a lot of damage to his team. Typhlosion is his only switch in, but I have an Earth Power, which will 2 KO that. He has a Zygarde, which I can hit with a Flash Cannon. Although I believe Eruption will not be doing more, but it still does a lot. Eruption in general is really good because I want to weaken his team. I especially want to weaken the Uxie, which I believe would be an immediate switch in for him. That and the Zygarde, I'd like to weaken those, just for stuff like my Greninja or my Altaria to sweep late game. It's also here as a pressure tool, again, as an offensive check to stuff like the DNC. Do an offensive check to something like a setup Buzzwole. If it's bulk up, I can stop it, hopefully. So, in general, this is really nice to have. I'm not going to go through all the different things that I had on this Heatran, but I know I did have rocks. But I eventually gave them to my Pallossands, which is here with Stealth Rock, Roar, Icicle Spear, and Earthquake. And this was given, added to have the less of a weakness to stuff like the Zygarde. I switched on Zygarde decently well. I do believe I'm not too KO'd by Banded Zygarde after rocks. And I can hit the thing with an Icicle Spear, because if it's sub, I do not want it to just sub on me for free. So I have Icicle Spear to break it and then get off damage, which is great. One Icicle Spear, I believe, does break a Zygarde sub, unless it's already boosted. So the speed will allow me to outspeed stuff. So that's really cool. I do outspeed stuff. I believe it's Napoleon. If he tries to scald me and revenge me, I hopefully will outspeed it. And I will be able to get off an Earthquake and again chip it down from my Mega Altaria. The entire team is really just built around Mega Altaria sweeping. And I believe I have rambled off long enough. So let's go ahead and jump into the video, or to the game, shall we? So, big surprise, because you haven't seen it the entire time. He brings his Zygarde, his Tornadus, his Uxie, his Mega DNC, his Empoleon, and his Buzzwole. So, very scary team. And I knew that the only mon that I had to be worried about as a lead was going to be his Tornadus if I led my Heatran. And I was willing to take that risk. So I do. I do take that risk. And I'm going to lead off with my Heatran. Anything that he leads off with is not going to appreciate this Heatran. Maybe Zygarde, but I might switch out against that. But I wanted to pressure some of his potential leads, like his rock leads. But he leads without the Tornadus. I could Eruption this and get a lot of damage off on it. However, because I do take any hit from this Tornadus if it's Life Orb. I don't really want to weaken my Eruption right now because it looks good. I'm going to go ahead and go to my Crobat. I take the Superpower, the Focus Blast. I can deal with the Knockoff. I can deal with the U-Turn. And he actually goes for Superpower, revealing that he, with that damage, that he is probably a uninvested set. And he's going to go ahead and switch down to his Empoleon here, knowing that I can Brave Bird and do a lot of damage with the -1 defense. So he's going to go to Empoleon, which is already great, because this Brave Bird is going to do a decent chunk. That is helpful towards my goal of OHKOing it with +1 Earthquake. So I'm going to go ahead and go for U-Turn here. And I'm going to go out into another Pokemon. I'm going to go into my Greninja here. I've gotten good damage up on this. Now I want to pressure it. And he is going to actually go for Scald instead of Rocks, which is beautiful. The fact that it's not going for Rocks is going to come into play later. And it's actually going to come into play now. Since he didn't go for Rocks the first turn, I can taunt him and stop him from doing it this turn. Which is great. Which is great. Because now my Greninja is a threat. He can only Scald me. He can't Toxic me. He can't Rocks on me. And he's going to go ahead and switch out into his Tornadus Therian as I go for Dark Pulse, trying to get off damage on the Empoleon or anything that decides to come in. And based on this damage, the calc says that it's potentiality, depending on what his set is. I can't gauge what his exact HP is, but from the calc, depending on what it is, I may be able to just straight up kill it with the Hydro Vortex. And I'm willing to go for that. I also weaken it. If I don't kill it, I weaken it very low and do put it in range of just about everything from on my team. Thus making this Tornadus having to come, pressuring this Tornadus to come in very many times. And he is actually going to live, which is unfortunate. And he's going to U-turn out, and I'm going to live, which is fortunate. And he's going to get his Regenerator back, which is unfortunate. And he is going to go into his Zygarde, which is no good. So here, I'm expecting this thing to be packing the Extreme Speed. And I don't really want to sacrifice my Greninja right just now. So I'm going to go ahead and go out into my Tusks. So my Tusk is going to come out, and it's actually going to take 1,000 arrows, which is really weird to me. Why would he go for 1,000 arrows on something that could Ice Beam him? And that kind of gave me my first clue that this might be a choice Scarf to Zygarde. So here, I'm okay with him going into the Buzzwole. I know that's what his switching is going to be. I could try and punish him for it, but I'd rather just get up my rocks to further chip down stuff like the Empoleon, like the Uxie, so I can potentially with my Mega Altaria later. So I'm going to go ahead and switch out here. I don't want to take a Drain Punch, and I don't want to take anything, really. And I'm going to go ahead to my Greninja and potentially sack that off. If he goes for a sub, I can break it with one of my moves, and I can prevent him from roosting or bulking up. But he just goes for Stone Edge, predicting my Crobat to come in. Good play. I lose my Greninja, but I'll be fine. The Beast Boost comes off, and he gets it into attack, tells me he's more of an offensive set. And I'm going to go to my Dodge Dart. If he's Choice Scarf, and he hits me with a +1 Stone Edge, so be it. I'm going to go for the Eruption. He's going to go to his Zygarde, predicting the Fire-type move. And guys, look at this Eruption come off. Are we ready? He breaks the aura with his Zygarde. This Eruption is going to come off. And this is going to take a lot of damage, which is great. That tells me he's obviously offensive. He's not a subset. And I'm very happy for that. I'm going to go to my Tusk. Again, my good switch into this. And he goes for 1,000 arrows. And I'm still kind of thinking Scarf. He doesn't know that I'm Scarfed, although it kind of clues that I'm Scarfed if I'm running Eruption. So I'm kind of getting more and more of the idea that this thing is Scarfed. So he's going to switch out into his John Cena. However, because I am a Roar set, I decided to go for that. Again, just getting damage off on everything, trying to keep out the Buzzwole, trying to keep it out in what I want. And he brings the Zygarde in, with the Roar. And I think that he might go for Sod. I think he might just try to attack me, predicting Roar again. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the Icicle Spear, trying to punish him staying in to get off damage as he protects me to go for Roar. And he goes right back out to the Buzzwole. I'm going to go for Icicle Spear. And this is going to do not a bad chunk, not going to lie. It does a little bit of damage. Not a whole lot, not a whole lot, but it does a decent chunk. Tells me he's probably offensive. And I'm going to go ahead and switch out here, and this time I am going to go onto my Crobat, as he is going to go for the Drain Punch, which is fine. I'm going to take that up very, very well, and a Brave Bird will decimate this thing. So that's very beautiful. Here, I believe I'm going to go ahead and fire off. I do not remember. I believe it's going to be a U-turn. Is it going to be a U-turn on the Uxie? Let's find out. I am going to go for the U-turn on the Uxie, as he reveals to be the Tanga Berry, which tells me that this Uxie was prepped for my Azelf. running a nasty plot set with something like Signal Wing. So I'm going to go ahead and switch out here. I'm going to go into my Heatran. I've gotten some decent damage off on it, and now I really want to pressure it. And Eruption's going to do a lot of damage. It's not going to kill if he's a Spadef variant. However, this Eruption is actually going to crit, which is very, very bad. Because that doesn't give him the information that on Specs or Scarf. And he could have gone up Rocks, or he could have done a lot of stuff. But he goes with the side card. He is screaming at me that this thing is Scarf. He is screaming it at me. And I can kill him with Eruption here, so I'm going to risk it. If he's Scarf, he's Scarf. That's fine, that gives me information. And that kills my Heatran, which is fine. I killed off the Uxie, I've gotten some damage off, and I'm kind of looking good from a Mega Altaria. So let's talk about this next play. It is very unfortunate that I did crit that Uxie. However, if he would have weakened me, it would have been fine. I would have done this whole rigmarole later. So I'm going to go ahead and Mega Evolve here. And I'm going to go for the Dragonite. As you see, he stays in, which is very curious to me. He's Choice Card. He shouldn't want to take a hit. And 1,000 Arrows is obviously not going to 2-hit KO me. And as you can see, it definitely doesn't 2-hit KO me. As I go for Dragonite. So let's pause this for a second. Let me talk about this. I'm probably right there. Let's pause this. It was very strange for me that he 1,000 arrowed. It's at times like this I like to think, what is my opponent going to do? The entire match, I was trying to figure out what would he do if I Dragon Dance. What was his way to stop me? What was his plan to not get swept by Mega Altaria? And the fact that he stays in there gives me the final clue of what his plan is. So, his plan, in my head, is to 1,000 arrows as I Dragon Dance. Switch out, sack something, and then come back in with his Choice Scarf Zygarde, which is faster than my Mega Altaria, and then finish me off with the Iron Tail, because 1,000 arrows into Iron Tail does kill me. So, that's what's going on in my head. That's what I think his plan is. I Dragon Dance up, he stays in 1,000 arrows, I'm positive this is his plan. So, as he switches out, as I predicted, I'm going to go for the Roost. And that Roost basically seals his entire fate. Because since I Roost, I'm no longer in range of an Iron Tail. I am EV to live a +1 Iron Tail, so even crits, I don't believe I'm going to die, if I'm correct. And I'm +1 Mega Altaria. He has no way to stop me. I'm going to go ahead and go for the Body Slam. I'm going to knock out this Tornado Therian clean. So, he's going to go out, back out into his, he's going to go into his John Cena. Hopefully he can live, maybe, potentially. Get a nice punch off, give the damage he needs off so that he can finish me off with a Zygarde. Not a chance. I'm going to Body Slam and I'm going to kill off that Buzzwole. He flexes as he goes down. He's going to go out to his Zygarde, which, once again, Choice Scarf. And he's going to reveal the Iron Tail, giving me the idea that I was right. That was his plan all along, was 1,000 arrows into Iron Tail. He's going to connect. He's going to do that much damage. And 31 plus 63, that's 94. I believe I would have lived up plus a crit on from that. I'm going to Body Slam. I'm going to knock that out. That is 3 kills for Mega Altaria. Mega Altaria is not going to be stopped. And this Empoleon comes out. And I'm going to Earthquake it. And I'm going to knock it out. Which is beautiful. So, this Empoleon goes down. And the only thing he has left is a Mega DNC. And even if he does go to Mega DNC, he has to Rock Polish to win. He has to live Earthquake, he has to Rock Polish, so if he doesn't Rock Polish, then my Crobat will kill him. And even if he does all this, I still have a full health Vaporeon in the back that can Scald it and finish it off. So he has to be Rock Polish, Calm Mind, Rest, and then be EV to live multiple Scalds. So, it's unlikely that he's going to pull anything through. However, he has a very fully offensive Mega DNC. He is not going to live this Earthquake. And that is going to be GG to Lux and his Pittsburgh Empoleons. Your New York Metagross come out with a big, big win. Very big win. I believe this was a 4-0 win. So that's a 4-0 win for us with Mega Altaria picking up 5 kills. Absolutely beautiful. Very excited for this. Very excited that this match happened. Good game to Lux. You played amazingly. However, Mega Altaria just completely decimates your team. I'm sorry, dude. Mega Altaria hurts you bad. So, he moves to 5-3. We're going to move to 5-3 as well. Very, very, very nice. And almost setting us into playoffs 100%. If we get 6-0 by Bronson and Brendan, and then the person below us wins a couple times or whatever, we're going to be out. I'm not going to let that happen. I definitely want to make playoffs in this league, and I definitely want to show them what I can do. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you later today for week number 9. Peace.